Hey everyone, John K from Bonnet Pro. I wanted to go over some tile cleaning tips with you. So I want to go through what we're going to do if we boost a product, and we're just going to go ahead and boost it. You can decide on your job if you need it boosted or not. But let me go through some of the things that you would need for a smaller job. We want to have a great brush, and I'll demonstrate this later so we can get up against the edges. So even if you're using a big machine with a nice tile and grout brush or a CRB, you're still going to need to get up against the corners. We use this poly tape I got from Uline. I'll put the part number in the bottom of the video. And this is not quite duct tape, but it's better than frog tape. It releases good, but it also sticks good, and it's waterproof. So I'd already done this threshold here. That is quartz, harder stone. It's not like marble. It's not going to be really affected by the alkaline product. But if we do the Grout Shock, which is a 1 pH acid, we don't want to have a potential issue. So this is a great way to easily and quickly cover up any sensitive items, whether it's stainless steel on a refrigerator or whether it's a soft stone or any material that we want to protect. We have that ability, and putting it in a tape dispenser just makes it really quick and easy to dispense the tape. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take 1 ounce of Rocket Blast. Now keep in mind this is a quart. We'd use 4 ounces if it was a gallon. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to add some NanoMaxx just to make sure we have extra grease cutting. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of OxyAll. Every 8 ounces per gallon adds a 0.5%. So that just added 2% on top of the oxy that was in the Rocket Blast. And then we're going to fill the rest with hot water. There's a safety coating on the Oxy and Rocket Blast. We want to use the hot water to not only help the chemistry accelerate, but we also want to dissolve that safety coating. So let's let that sit for a second. We'll come back in 2 minutes. Now, just a couple of mixing tips. When you mix up if you add extra peroxide, and the reason you would do that is if I can avoid the second step of having to use an acid to even out the floor, brighten the floor, then fine. I can not use a more aggressive chemical that comes with some things you need to really be careful of. But when you mix the extra oxy in with the high pH tile cleaner, a couple things happen. The high pH accelerates the peroxide. It's like putting a turbocharger on it. So you have to be really careful the temperature of the water you mix it with. If you mix that with hot truck mount water, you're going to get a volcano within 30 seconds. It's just going to boil over and you're going to have foam and you're going to release all the energy. You don't want to do that. So you want to make the water just hot enough so it stings a little bit, like 100 degrees, 105 degrees is all you need. That Rocket Blast will mix in very easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this down. I'm going to do a few tiles here, and if you zoom in on that, you can see they're kind of they're not clean. The grout's not clean here, and so we're going to do this. We're going to let this sit at about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll do a scrub, and then I'll show you how I want to rinse this. And it's kind of hard to get a before and after because the water's going to want to run, and that's another reason you got a little splash there. And if this floor is uneven, the water's going to want to tilt and run towards the threshold, and that's another reason to protect it. And typically I would put a cloth over here as well so I can have 2 layers of protection over somebody's expensive stone or marble or whatever they might have, or even if it's brass, just to protect that threshold and prevent a liability on my sake. So let's let this sit for 5 minutes and then we'll come back. So while we're letting it sit for another minute, I probably would dial back the amount of peroxide I put in, just because if you hear this, pressure will keep building up in that pump up sprayer. So we don't want to have an accident with that. So let's dial back and start with 2 ounces per quart, 8 ounces per gallon. This would have been the equivalent of a 25% mixture, which would have been much higher, much more aggressive. So when we're done scrubbing this, and you can recover it through a spinner tool, which is great, helps you clean much faster, whether you're using a CRB or rotary machine to scrub it, or however you're going to scrub it, or scrub it by hand. then you're going to recover it. One way you can do that if you don't have a truck mount is to put a glide on your wand and use a portable machine to rinse this, and you'll extract most of the cleaning solution up. Then you'll go over it with a large towel and just do the edges and corners and the little bits to detail it that you don't normally get. I'm going to assume I'm going to use an acid on this afterwards. So what I'm going to do, because this is a high pH cleaner, I'm going to rinse this with acid lava. This is a 2.5 pH. It smells really nice. It's a very pleasant fragrance. And there's a couple reasons I'm going to do that. It's going to remove any alkaline residue, but also it's going to lower the pH. So should I have to, in the second step, use an acid product, my 1 pH acid isn't fighting against my 12 pH alkaline cleaner, and they're neutralizing each other. So now I bring that pH back close to 7, so I'm kind of starting at a neutral spot, and then when I put my acid on, it's going to be much, much more effective. So we'll get into that. Let's scrub this a little bit. We'll recover it, and then I'm going to put the acid on here, and we'll see what 5 minutes gets us. And this is a Lieberman brush. I got this from the supermarket. I love these things because of this angle here. I can get right up against the wall, and I can get wall-to-wall clean on the grout. Because it doesn't matter what tool you're using, you're going to have to use some type of hand tool to get close up to the edge. So I'm going to just pick up a little bit of this slop, and you can see there's an improvement. And then I'm going to neutralize this. I already mixed up this product. We're going to let this sit about 2 minutes, and then we'll recover this. So what I'm doing isn't nearly as effective as, again, like a spinner tool, which is going to have high pressure and heat, and it's going to flush and extract all at the same time. And it would continually rinse. It would rinse better than this would with your acid rinse here on the tile with the acid lava. But let's go ahead and recover this. And then what I'm going to do is, because it can look blotchy when it's wet, we're going to take a hairdryer and dry this so you can actually see what it looks like when it's dry. And then if I was in a customer's home, I would evaluate at that point if I had to go to the second step and use the acid. So if I'm going to use the acid on the second step, I charge for the taping. It's one piece, I might not bother. But typically, if I have to do this again, I'm going to charge half or 70% of what the original cleaning was. So let's say the kitchen was $300, and we decide we're going to go the second step. I'm going to add $150 to do the second step for the acid. Why isn't it double? I'm here, I'm set up. It's not going to take me nearly as long to do the second step because I've vacuumed, I've cleaned up, and the floor is really generally basically clean. I'm just applying the product, and I'm going to let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to wash it away. And that I would do just the opposite. The acid, I would want to rinse it with an alkaline, something like NanoMaxx, to take some of that acidity off of the tile. So let's take our hairdryer, and we'll dry a section, and then we'll come back again. So if we need the acid, why don't we just start with the acid? So let's cover a couple things. Reason we're going to mix this a little bit hotter than we would, say, a carpet cleaning product is because the amount of buildup in this grout line can be multiple times thicker than the coating that would be on a carpet. So we're going to need more chemistry to more quickly break that down and dissolve through it. The acid isn't going to be as well on greasy soils as the alkaline is. So typically the alkaline product is much safer to work with. So I'm going to start with that. And if it gets me to where I want to be, especially with the peroxide, then I don't have to do the acid step. It's more cost effective for the customer, and it's less liability for me because I'm not dealing with a strong acid. So what we're going to do in the second step here is we're going to do an acid spot. We're going to go over this, see if it evens it out more. I let this sit just a few minutes, and I did a really quick light scrub. If I was at a customer's home doing this, I probably would have let that sit at least 20 minutes so that peroxide could help really clean and brighten. And I would have gave it a better scrub if I was being paid. But if you look at here and you look at here, this looks pretty good. But let's see if the Grout Shock takes it a layer further, a step further, and either and continues to brighten it up. So this product is a 1 pH. This I would wear gloves with when you're mixing it. And label instructions is 10 to 20 ounces per gallon. Some of the competitors are 1-to-1. You need a much stronger mix. So this is going to smell better in the customer's location. And then also you don't go through as much product, so it's much more cost effective. So I'm going to mix this up at the equivalent of 20 ounces per gallon. We're going to pour down a little bit, and then we're going to repeat the process. So one more tip before we put down the acid. Since this has oxy in it, it's releasing. It has the sodium bicarbonate and powdered oxy, and also has a liquid oxy. This is going to continue to build pressure with the heat that's in there. So you always want to, if you're going to use a pump-up sprayer, you want to use one that has a relief valve, and you want to hit it occasionally, because I released that about 2 minutes ago, and it's still producing pressure. So something to keep in mind. So let's do the area. Let's go beside this. Let's do this area here, and then let's go over what we already did and see the difference. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to put this over, and I'm not worried about the acid on the tile, so I'm just going to use a squeegee, and it's just going to help me more easily and quickly get it into the grout. Now see how this is running down here? So let's put a barrier there just to make sure that threshold stays clean from that acid. We have it taped, but let's be on the safe side. So let's set this about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll give it a light scrub, and then we'll take this off and see what we get. So this was the fresh tile, didn't have the alkaline cleaning, and we had the 3 areas that did. And let's see how this compares from alkaline, no alkaline, and then alkaline with acid on top of it to see if it continues to brighten and even out the appearance. Okay, so it's been about 7 minutes. Again, if I was getting paid for this, I'd let it sit a little longer. But let's zoom in here and see how this responds. Again, this is a 3 that we did with the alkaline, and with just the acid, you can see that responds pretty quickly. So one of the keys when you're doing the grout is the grout can be at a variety of different depths. So it's important to be able to have a brush that's going to get in there deep enough to effectively agitate and scrub out the pores in the grout. So that's something you'll have to determine as you go of what's going to accomplish that physical, mechanical agitation the best for you. All right, so we'll go over this real quick again. And we're going to kind of just do the same thing that we did the first time. So let's just wipe this up. And then we'll dry it. And then we'll see. Now I'm working on a product called Guardian Perserverence. Guardian Perserverence is a stone. This is tile, so it wouldn't apply to this, but the grout, stone and grout sealer and fine fabric sealer. So you can use this on really expensive furniture, drapery, a variety of different surfaces. It is solvent-based. You have to be worried about flammability, no pilot lights or anything like that. But the solvent helps it to penetrate better, and it's just a better product than water-based is. This particular one is completely odorless. There's no VOCs. It's a really neat chemistry. So that'll be available early 2026. So let's neutralize this with some NanoMaxx. So we take away the acidity, and we'll let this sit a second, and then we'll pull that up, and we'll dry it, and we'll see what the end product is. So we'll pause that for a second. So the nano sat for about a minute or two to help neutralize the acidity and bring that back up to a near neutral pH, so that doesn't continue to work on the grout. And let's just dry this off in the surrounding areas, and just touch the acid. Just touching this helped clean some of the other stuff when we didn't even scrub it. And then we'll hit it with the dryer, and we'll show you the finished product. Just a quick recap: if you have pressurized sprayer and you didn't use all your solution, keep reducing the pressure. You don't have an accident with that. So these 3 we did with alkaline, and then followed by acid, and this one we just did with the acid. They are pretty close, although I'd have to say this is a little bit better doing the 2-step. So there are jobs where you can start with the acid if there's not a lot of grease buildup. Say it's a lobby as opposed to a commercial kitchen that has a real thick buildup of grease. If it has the thick buildup of grease, you probably want to use a spinner tool. You want to use the alkaline product, and then if you need to go to the acid, the Grout Shock after the alkaline, to help even it out and help go deeper into the pores of the grout to burn out, if you will, with the acid what's absorbed into the grout. Then you would go to the Grout Shock afterwards. So make sure you neutralize between steps, and just be careful with everything else to keep things safe. And this tape is pretty good to peel off, and it doesn't really leave a residue or anything. You don't have to remove the adhesive afterwards. So even where the acid touched, it almost just cleaned that right off. We didn't even scrub up there. So I think it did very good. You can tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you have any questions, get a hold of Bonnet Pro at info@bonnetpro.com, or give me a call at 877-477-1615. You guys have a great day. All the best.